Hello, Namaste, and welcome back. Moving forward in the world of FX instruments, today we're going to look at something known as an FX NDF. FX NDF, also known as Non-Deliverable Forward Contract, is similar to an FX Forward Contract. The only difference here being is that on the settlement date, there is no exchange of currencies, but it is cash settled. Right? There is a settlement of cash. Now, why is that? Now, first of all, FX NDF helps in getting or hedging against exposure against non-convertible currency fluctuations, such as India, Brazil, Indonesia, developing countries, right? Because the government of these countries actually restricts the restricts the convertibility of their currencies in order to so that there is no potential currency devaluations, etc., etc. So, for example, there is a company in USA and it has a subsidiary in India, right? And company A needs to pay Indian company 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh 6 months from now. So obviously, the company in USA A is worried about currency fluctuations, right? What if India USD INR got lower? That means Indian currency got appreciated over a period of time. So it enters into an FX NDF contract with any financial institutions or investment bank, etc. And they enter into an FX NDF contract with a fixed rate for the USD INR, wherein on the date of settlement, if uh, on the date of settlement, if the company A is in profit, the financial institutions will pay the difference in USD. That means if it's a long contract and it's in profit, USA company A would be paid in USD by the financial institutions, or on the date of settlement, if uh, the company A USD is in a loss of the contract, then the financial it has to pay the difference to the financial institutions in USD. Right. So let's just understand further. So as we have learned above, it helps to lock in a rate for a pre-agreed period of time, similar to a forward leg or the far leg of a swap contract. We have already seen the far leg of a swap contract is nothing but the forward agreement, forward agreed rate, right? And on the settlement date, the currency will not be delivered, and instead the difference between the NDF and the fixed rate is cash settled, right? It is usually used to hedge non-convertible currencies or currency with trading restrictions. As I have said, trading restrictions countries include developing nations, etc., etc. Now let's understand with an example. Moving forward with the example we have on hand, the Acme company is trying to expand into South America, that is Brazil, and needs to make a purchase of, so it needs to pay the Brazilian company 2 million Brazilian real in 6 months. So obviously the mm, Acme want to hedge against the fluctuations. Just like we do in forward contracts, Acme is going to get into an agreement with the investment bank or financial institution, such as here we have SVB, right? SVB UK. So it will get into a contract with SVB that it will uh, sell GBP and buy 2 million Brazilian at the rate of 6 months from now, right? So this would be the contract. This would be my contract. I would sell 1 million. I would sell GBP and buy Brazilian, buy 2 million Brazilian at the rate of 6, right? So I will basically sell 333,000 pounds to buy 2 million Brazilian 6 months from now. Now, obviously, since this is an FX NDF and since Brazilian BRL is a non-convertible currency on settlement, the rate would be checked. What rate is GBP BRL is going on the spot rate, and the difference would be cash settled between SPB and ACME, right? So, for example, let's just say if the spot rate turn out to be 7, that is for 1 GBP you can buy 7 Brazilian. That means GBP has strengthened, right? GBP has strengthened. Then, if this was not a forward contract, if Acme would have directly got into a spot transactions 6 months from now, it would have bought 2 million Brazilian and it would have sold 285 pounds to buy that 2 million GB, to buy that 2 million Brazilian. But since this is a forward contract, here Acme would be losing money, and the difference, that is 48,000, that would be paid to the SVB bank, right? So this is how more or less the FX NDF works. So as we know, as we have already talked about the payoff for a seller of a forward contract, this is the seller, right? The seller will make money obviously when the markets are falling, right? When do we short? We short when the markets are falling. So here the Acme had basically sold the USD PRL instrument, right? And as we have seen on the day of the spot, it increased to 7, right? We have seen that on spot the GBP BRL, I'm sorry, this on day of the spot the GBP BRL was 7, means GBP increased in value, right? That means we made a loss. This was basically the payoff. You have to understand that it will basically Acme will pay SVB the difference, that is 48k, since this is a FX NDF instrument. So that is it for today. Thanks.